We are seated.
We are seated.
Good evening. I'm not used to using a mic. I have such a loud voice. For those who don't know me, my name is Stuart. No, I'm not looking up my name. I'm looking up something else that I wanted to mention. I don't believe I had ever quoted from the Torah before. I have never been up here in one of these positions. But there is one little thing I want to talk about as I spoke very briefly about the model that we've embarked on as the rabbi discussed in her sermon. To do that, I have to disagree a little bit with the rabbi, start laughter, because I don't believe this model was begun in St. Louis, with all due deference to my friends. I think it was begun in the Torah. In Exodus chapter 25, 1 and 2, it says, "The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, Speak to the children of Israel, and have them take for me an offering. From every person whose heart inspires him to generosity, you shall take my offering." And then the Torah goes on to detail in amazing detail precisely what God wanted from his people to build a temple. But beyond those specific things that God asked for, God also instructed Moses to seek out those to give generously from their hearts. And when we look at, let's see, look at Exodus 35, it's like 5 and 6, and it says, the priests came to Moses after a while, and they spoke to Moses, saying, "The people are bringing very much, more than is enough for the labor of the articles which the Lord had commanded to do." So Moses commanded, and they announced in the camp, saying, "Let no man or woman do any more work for the offering for the holy." The people stopped bringing, and they had more than enough. That's the model. Our ideal here, which has worked very well, perhaps starting more modernly in St. Louis and spreading out elsewhere, is that we're not asking for dues. We're not asking for a fixed amount every year. We're not asking for people to come in and pay for High Holy Day tickets. We're not asking for that. But that doesn't mean we're not asking. What we are asking for is that everybody who is part of this community, who feels a connection to this community, who takes joy or solace or anything from this community, think about what they can do for the community. For many of us, the easiest thing is a monetary donation, which we're not going to turn away. Now, there is no fixed number. There truly isn't. I remember the days when I was a kid, during the muscular dystrophy telethons, Jerry Lewis used to say, even $1 could put us over the top. Well, we're 30 years, 40 years later, maybe it's not quite $1, maybe it's high. But whatever the amount, the idea that we're coming here with is to engage you, to have you feel a part of a community, and to give what you feel you are able to give at any particular time, whether it's a month, a year. Only you know what that is. We're not going to ask you to submit a financial affidavit to get into the doors. You know what, in your own individual circumstances, you feel comfortable and willing to do out of generosity to help us with this endeavor. Different years for the same person, that might be a different amount. In some years it may be very little. In other years it may be very large. That is what we're asking. But that's the money part, which is very important because we have to pay bills. But we're also asking for anything else you're able to do. It could be time, to be labor. We have, though not here, but we have at our temporary home, a beautiful ark that was lovingly put together by a number of members of the temple. We have a Torah table that was put together by several members, and one of whom even hand-carved the Star of David that we have in the front. These things are not without value. Sometimes they're even more valuable than the money that it might have cost us to accomplish it. Because when we look at it, we know where it came from. So we ask you at any given time to do what you can. If that is offering to help with a kiddush, if that is offering to help with flowers, if that's offering to come in the kitchen, if it's money, then we ask you in your own hearts, as the Lord said to Moses, to ask the children to give generously. I'd like to say one final thing about our rabbi. I'm here personally because I chose to follow this rabbi. Because I've chosen her as the person I am comfortable to lead me spiritually, who I have faith and who I trust. I can tell you that in the 55 days since the decision was made to start what was a chavarah and turn it into a congregation, our rabbi has worked beyond human effort. Somebody must be helping her because she sends emails at 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 3:30 in the morning, working on matzors and newsletters and which chair should we purchase for our sanctuary, which pattern is this, which seat length and width and comfort. I can tell you that the rabbi has spared nothing to detail, and as she has acknowledged, she and myself and those of us elsewhere on the board and others who have donated generously of time, we have made mistakes. But I can also tell you one thing, and it's something that I think is really, really special. It's something I've never experienced before. So far, I can say that whatever any member of the board or anybody else has done, whether it worked out wonderfully or whether there were hiccups along the way, I have absolutely no doubt whatsoever that they did everything they did with the best of intentions. I cannot doubt anybody because I've seen what they've done. And when you have a group that you can trust, you can rely upon, I think you have a very special community. So I thank everybody that's here. I thank everybody who's worked to get us here. I thank the board. I thank the rabbi. Because without her, we would not be here. Without an effort that is beyond imagination, we would not be here. Today is the very first High Holy Day service of Congregation Eitz Chayim, Port St. Lucie. I think we're going to have a century or more to come, long after all of us are gone, and perhaps our children or our grandchildren are here, to look at plaques on the wall, say, who's that? But that's the way it should be. Thank you.